Hello and welcome everyone, this is Allura SC coming at you with another Fortnite Frostnite YouTube tutorial video. Now this has been a lot of you guys have been asking me for this video. I've been taking my time with it because kind of really wanted to get it right. As many of you might know, the lobbers as well as the flingers recently have gotten an update to some of the way that they interacted with their projectiles, the projectiles interacting with the buildings and being able to deal damage to structures, as well as the AI and the way that they receive damage for the flingers as well. So we really wanted to make sure that we did some extensive testing of all these mechanics, how they work, how they function, and stuff like that as well. Before finally putting out a video, we want to make sure that the video information is accurate. We have been testing this a lot. It's not to the point where we are 100% foolproof yet, but this is about as good as we have thus far. So we're still collecting information. If any of you guys are having any insight or input that you'd like to share as well, please do feel free to send us messages, join our Discord, all that kind of lovely stuff here. So right now we're simply giving you a quick overview of the layout that we have been using. This is the community build that we've been working on after over 7 weeks of iterations of various kinds of builds. You know, this is kind of what we've settled on for our build. Yeah, this is the build that we are typically going to be using on stream, strategy that we are typically employing these days when we are building our Frostnite base. So as always, credits to Fortnite DB's Capson for coming out with this amazing replication of the Frostnite map. And without further ado guys, let's get right into the video. So this video is for the lobber fields, yeah, creating lobber protection for the lobber fields. So getting started right quick. This is from the perspective of the lobber field builder. The very first thing that you typically want to do as you are starting the game is to go ahead and make reference points. Now, between waves 1 and 2, there will be no ranged husks. So they won't be tossing things like lobbers and flingers. They won't be an issue until wave 3. So you have waves 1 and 2 for you to actually freely build. Now, obviously, while you are not working on the lobber field at the very start, you really should be helping out your builder to help clean up the immediate vicinity of the base as much as you can. You know, some of you guys might be helping to loot the barn, you know, loot all the various cans, the bacon, and all the things that are around the base. But the moment all this is done and you have free time between waves 1 and 2, this is when you start to begin on your lobber field building. Now, as you can see, I've gone ahead and taken the liberty to showcase the walls that your builder would have probably put up. I've gone ahead and taken out all of the ceiling pieces as well, so that you guys can actually have a good top-down view of what the base looks like. Alright, so now that we're working on this lobber field, let's get into it. You will notice over here is going to be a block off, right? For more information about the build, I'll be posting it later, but this is specifically for the lobber fields. So this part over here will typically be blocked off. This is the hill, the little northwest hill that you would want to always block off. Alright, this area here tends to form problems if you don't block it off properly, so make sure you do a good job at blocking it off. So as always, points of reference, one tile up here like this, you want to use the slanted pyramid pieces. Now this is very important for some of you who might not know this. Using slanted pyramid pieces, the cornered pieces like this, is serving a purpose. It serves a purpose. What purpose is that specifically? If you use stairs, I have seen some people using stairs, you know, on this side over here, they place stairs here, they place stairs there, you know, and stuff like that. And honestly speaking, the reason why some of you might find that you are getting aggroed while you have players standing up here is because of that reason. By placing stairs, husks are able to path upwards and hit you based on their AI. So if you had husks coming down from this funnel over here, and if you went ahead and placed stairs which connected up to this top area here, then the husks from this bottom will start to punch these walls and break their way through. Alright, so this is very, very, very important if you want to make sure that you do not cause any kind of mishaps to your funnels. You need to make sure that you use and utilize corner pyramid pieces. Corner pyramid pieces. Always remember that. So, where were we? Yes, the lobber fields. I like to place these pieces right here as my first marker. Second marker over here, another corner piece. Third corner piece, fourth corner piece, and we have two open tiles here as such. You go upwards here. One tile, two tile, three tiles. This sort of forms your points of reference. Points of reference. These things will be helping you very greatly while you try to build your lobber fields. Now, you thought that this is going to be a very straightforward lobber field video. It really isn't, because this is going to come with in-depth explanations for each and every site depending on what the situation warrants. So getting back straight into this right now, okay, like I was mentioning, this is probably between waves 1 and 2 during your spare time, your free time, after looting up all the things in the base already. That's when you start working on this lobber field. Once you've gotten this little platform right here, this is when you start to work on your build. Now, as you can see right here, this is where the bowl starts to take shape. You use this point over here as a reference, yeah? Use this point over here as a reference to draw your corners. Now, before we go down into the actual lobber fields as well, you might notice that sometimes, if your builder is very experienced as well, he might also do things that will assist you. In knowing where the lobber field markings are going to be. So he might be doing things like this. So as you are building your lobber fields, you'll very quickly realize that these points over here of markers are going to assist you with knowing where the lobber field should end or start. So I'm just going to very quickly place a couple of these markers here. You will notice that some of these will really assist us. It will really assist us with knowing where to be actually placing your tiles. Alright, where you'll be placing your tiles. Now, on this side over here, we do have a little bit of there's something over here that I do need to take note of. So I'm going to make a little piece over there like such. So let's get right back into it. Yeah, let's get right back into it. I got sidetracked over there a little bit. Now, waves 1 and 2, you start working your way up here. You start building your little bowl here. I build it 2 high. Alright, 2 tiles high, up such. I like to work my way from the north side here. I like to work my way from the northern side here. Okay, so very quickly. Now you may be wondering as well, you know, what all these tiles over here, with how we are placing them, you know, how are they actually going to be making sense? As you see, once you place these tiles, these points of reference will help you build a very neat lobber field. Use all these tiles over here to know where your lobber fields go, and the build will take shape very easily. This is where the turning is. And then 2 high. 2 tiles high, such. Now all this should be taking place right about wave 2 or between wave 2. Yeah, right about then. Now this is the special tile that I was mentioning earlier. Alright, this is towards the southwest side, which is the barn. Now if you went ahead and followed the linings that we have marked over there, typically, you would actually have wall tiles over here blocking off on that side. This is actually a platform. This is where we actually have a little platform over here. So this is what I like to do. Go ahead and start turning this side, right here. Then extend it outwards, as such. Now this is what you would call the framework. This should be able to be done very easily, right about somewhere around the wave 2.5 mark, you know. While wave 2 is in progress, you should be able to put this little layout already. You should be able to put this layout already, especially if you have the nets to do so with the farmers that have been farming. Now, once you have this layout, wave 3. Wave 3 is the one that you really need to start to take note. Now, you will notice that there are many different spawn points. They could spawn from any side, and depending on where they spawn, this is where you have to make adjustments as to which side to prioritize first. Which side to prioritize first. Let me just go ahead and clean these tiles up. So for example, let's just say that north spawns first. We have a north spawn. Now, is this sufficient? What we built over here is simply the backbone or the foundation of which we are going to be working on our lobber field from. So let's just say if we have a northern spawn, alright, we had a northern spawn coming in from that side right there. What exactly do we do? So when there's a north spawn, this is what I like to do. I use this point as reference, which is the first or the second level right here after the 1 tile high. You come up right here to this platform, and upon reaching this platform right here, you simply go ahead and extend out your field right here. I don't know where this piece came from. I think it was from while we were building up there. You go ahead and use that point over there, and you extend out your lobber field as such. Extend it out as such, all the way out, and you should be able to hit the roof of the military base. There should be a little radar dish right there. Alright, so nice and simple. This is what I would do if the spawn was coming from north. It should be a single spawn. The earlier waves tend to be single spawns, so this is what the north build would look like. The moment you have done this, not a single lobber or flinger will be able to do any damage to your base. If you notice exactly how did we do it, this is 2 stories high. 2 stories high of where the husks are coming from. Now, as the builder's job rather, he will probably be working on the lower side funnels, so he will be filling in all of these tiles right here. And if he so chose to start working on things like what do you call those spawn trappings, it will start to look something like this. So as you can see, the moment these things start to happen, all these obstructions are in play, your flingers and lobbers will have absolutely no chance of doing any of their shenanigans. It will not be able to throw anything at all and be entering the base. Now, one quick point of note as well, this is quite important, is that when you have flingers and lobbers coming into the base, if you're using a floor launcher build, you need to pay very close attention to make sure that you don't leave any of these tiles open. Because according to their AI, right, let's just say they are starting to leak through your funnels here. As they're coming through the funnels, let's say that you had an audit spawn, they are leaking through the funnels. If they come here and they notice that there is a tile which is not put any floor launchers or an open tile, they will stand there and they will start flinging into your base. And that's not good. You don't want that. So you need to make sure that if anything comes through the base, you either number one, have all of your traps rigged up, or number two, you start to eliminate them very quickly as they come out of the funnels, because if not, they're going to stand around, they're going to find some empty spot around the base, and they're going to start flinging in. So very important changes right there, or AI behavior that we need to take note of. So moving on. If we are going to be moving from the north side, let's say if we had a spawn on northeast, northeast. This is the northeast hill. That's the northeast spawn right there. They will spawn up there, they'll spawn a couple from the bottom and some around the sides over there as well. Now, exactly how do we build for northeast? Very simple. Northeast is a hill. So if you are working with a hill, what you want to do is to go one more level higher. Right? You count. This is let's talk about that as the level 1. Yeah, that's level 1, or the ground level. That's ground level. This is level 2. This is level 3. You go up to level 3. Go ahead and build from here. As such, extend your field outwards to cover the spawn of northeast. Make sure that no purple tendrils have an exposed area where they are able to have line of sight of your base, and just extend out your field as such. Extend out your field as such. And this kind of connects over to the the northern side right here. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it for the northeast. If we have a spawn coming in from northeast, this is exactly how you build it. Exactly how you build it. Go up to the 3rd level, extend out a field as such, and you're pretty much good to go. You're pretty much good to go. So now, if you are now working then on the east spawn. Now, based on how we have built the eastern spawn, alright, we have been blocking off the hard east lower ramp right there, so they'll be coming up from this side over here. They'll be coming up from that side right there. So now, as your builder is coming in, if you have a builder who is starting to build your funnels here as such, you'll probably notice that for the eastern spawn, you want to make sure that because they are spawning on the lower side right there, you don't want to give them too much of a leeway to be working. You want to be nice and safe. Like I personally always adhere to the 2-story high mark. Yeah, 3 high is very risky. Alright, 4 high is asking for trouble. Alright, so you'll notice that where the spawn is coming from, alright, we have 2 stories up. And we just go ahead and line the entire ceiling with wooden floors as such. So this deals with your eastern spawn. This is east spawn. And as always, you know, you want to make sure that you don't want to create any kind of what we like to call land bridges. You will note that this side over here does not create a land bridge because of how the terrain is angled, so this is fine. This is fine. You can always go ahead and place your wall darts on these sides later. This is how it would typically be looking like. Yeah, just go ahead and block all fields of the vision as such, and you're pretty much good to go. Pretty much good to go. So this is kind of how the under layer looks like. Underneath your bowl, right? This is how your safety lobber field should be looking like. And I can guarantee you that if you manage to build it in such a way, or not guarantee you, but with 99.9% certainty, say that if you manage to put this up according to how we've built it, when the spawn comes, you do not have any problems with lobbers dealing any of their stuff on you. So that's the east side right there. Now, east spawn has a possibility to spawn up on that hill as well. This hill has always been a problem, isn't it? This hill is problematic. So if you go ahead and count this side over here, and make sure that you're one tile away from all of these ridges right here. We don't want to create what we like to call land bridges. So this is going to be what I would like to call a surety. This is a surety sort of build right here. Because sometimes, if you have the husk spawning up there, and they end up dropping down there, they might start to do all kinds of funny stuff. You don't want that, right? So what we are basically doing, the concept behind this simply is making sure that at least every 2 tiles, at least, preferably 1, right? But if you have at least 2 tiles up of where the husks are spawning from, this is the hill on the southeast. You go ahead and build it in this particular manner as such, seal it all off, you'll be safe. Now, obviously, with some of the AI changes like I was mentioning as well, you'll notice that this is tier 1 wood. If you have a flinger or a lobber spawning directly here, like they're literally standing right there in the middle of the wave, and you go ahead and stand right here, as such, this is what I would like to call asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble because they now target players more specifically. The lobbers and the flingers, if you stand here like this and they're spawning right underneath you like that, that might become a problem. So you don't really want to put yourself in that position. You don't really want to put yourself in that position. Alright, so just go ahead and make these areas here nice and flushed, clean. Make sure that we don't leave any openings, as it were. So all this right here that we are building is simply surety. This is simply surety to make sure, absolutely sure, that your lobbers are not going to be able to do any of this stuff. Like I was mentioning as well, this is dependent on where they spawn, how they spawn. So if you go ahead and seal off all these lines aside down here, you can be a lot more certain. Base is going to be safe from the lobbers. So this is the southeastern hill. Done. Southeastern hill here is now done. So, as always, while all of these is happening, let's just say you have done your job after sealing off the particular side that needs sealing off already. What then do? You simply go back to working on your lobber field. As you can see right here, it is built 2 tiles diagonally high. All you need to do is to just go ahead and extend it out. Extend it out, 3 tiles, 4 tiles, you know. The further you go, the easier it is for you, because if you get supply drops, when you get supply drops, you want the supply drops to be ending up on your lobber fields nice and easy to be picked up. You don't want it to be all kinds of elevations, because sometimes as you're building all of these lobber fields right here, they might end up there, they might end up there, they might end up there, and stuff like that, and you gotta jump through hoops, you know, to try and pick up all of your supplies, which can be quite a time waster. So you don't really want that. So all you want to do is just go ahead and extend out all these fields in the meanwhile. So I will finish that up towards the later part of the video. Let's just go ahead and start working on the southern side right now. So as I was mentioning, the first floor typically is going to be your builder's job. The builder is going to be the one who is going to seal all of these areas there with ceilings. So as far as you're concerned, the second floor and above, that's you. So if you want to build a lobber field for south, let's say they are spawning from south, what do you want to do? Simply extend your lobber field as such. Simply extend the lobber field as such. So you're not building directly on top of the first story ceiling. You're coming up to the second level and you're just extending the field as such. So if you go ahead and work very well in tandem with your builder, if your build looks something like this, you should have multiple layers of protection. Your builder will be providing the first layer of protection, which is the ceilings from the gas traps and the spawn trapping, while you, as the lobber fielder, is providing that additional protection. Why? Let's say wave 16, wave 18, wherever the later waves are. Wave 23, not wave 23, wave 23 is propane wave only. If you get propane spawning in, right, sometimes, if accidents happen, like a player is accidentally aggroing one of the propanes. Note that I didn't say that the build is blowing up based on the funnels, because these funnels have been extensively tested. Propanes should not be going off at all. No reason at all for propanes to be going off. The only times propane will go off in this build is due to player error. Alright, these builds have been really thoroughly, very thoroughly tested. So no propanes will ever be going off inside these funnels if left on its own devices. It will never go off, never. So if any of the propanes go off, it's due to player error, but sometimes these things happen, right? Accidents do happen every now and then. So let's just say a propane goes off here. Boom! That wasn't intended, actually. I wasn't realizing that there was a pit underneath me, but regardless, we didn't need those traps anyway. But yes, let's just say that a propane goes off, alright? If a propane goes off and it blows up like a portion of your funnel as such, if you don't have your lobber field on top, that's when the lobbers are going to start to do their shenanigans and start tossing. So first line of defense from the builder with their lobber, with their spawn trapping as well as the gas traps within the funnels. You as the lobber field builder will then be working on the second floor as the additional protection. And obviously sometimes during the earlier waves, you don't have enough time, and you're there to provide the protection from the lobbers to make sure that they don't do silly. So let's get back to building on the south side once again. So yeah, that's really all there is for the south side. If you count 1, 2, second level up, and you just extend it out. Extend it out and make sure that we cover all of the purple tendrils that spawn in underneath. Let's make sure to cover it all up. You notice that this is covering also very nicely over the southwestern side. We have basically done south, we've also done southwest. This is also the southwest build done. So just go ahead and extend out all these fields and as such, and you'll be safe. 2 tiles high. Now, over here, what do we have? This over here is a hill. Now, typically, I usually have our builders, yeah? I usually like to have the builders, when working on this hill right here, to do this block off. To do this particular block off, this tile. So what usually happens over here, I like to have gas traps over here, and I like to have this tile blocked off. This tile is usually blocked off, these tiles rather. These 3 tiles are blocked off as such. Okay. So with these tiles blocked off, you basically have some additional leeway to be adding some additional ceiling stuff over there as well. But for you, as the lobber field builder, all you need to do is to go ahead and reinforce this as such. Make sure that no land bridge is formed here, and you're pretty much good to go. and seal off this entire hill as such. So this is now the west side. This is the west side. If spawns do come in from the west side, this is how you want to do it. This is how you want to do it. You'll note that over here, this is where your inner, this is where your starting point was. Yeah, your 3 tiles over here. All you want to do is to go ahead and edit your way out 1 tile. Edit your way out 1 tile. Close it off. Build your 2 tiles outwards and then stairs up as such, and then field out, and then field out for that hillside right there. Alright, so other than that, we also have the northwest spawn now. Yeah, that's our final spawn that we need to cover. So let's just say if the spawn spawns in first wave from northwest, what do we do? Point of reference right here, this is the corner piece. Edit your way out and field off as such. You will notice how high are we building it? Exactly 2 levels up. 2 levels up, and you just extend it out. Extend it out. Nice and easy. And with that, you will notice that all of the spawns now have been covered. All of the spawns now have been covered by the lobber fields. And field of vision wise, your pesky husks are now no longer going to be able to do what they want anymore. Yeah, they are completely sealed off from being able to do any of their flinging stuff anymore. Pretty much good to go. Much good to go. So yeah, this is basically how I would build. This is basically how I would build a lobber field. This is basically how I would be lobber field. As always, you know, if you want to, while you are in between having dealt with the current spawn, if you are having a so-called spare time, then simply go ahead and build your lobber fields as such. Some people have different people have different preferences on how to be building it. Some people like to run right down the middle and go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Some people like to go for 3 tiles, so 1, 2, and 3. So they do something like this, and this, and this. How you choose to do it, entirely up to you. How you choose to do it is entirely up to you. All this is really personal preference, but at the end of the day, all you really want to do is make sure that you have your priorities in order. Spawns are always a priority. So if you have your western spawn coming in first, then you make sure that you work on this particular build first. If you have a south spawn first, you work on the south first. If you have a northern spawn, then you go ahead and build your northern spawn first. So quite straightforward, really, quite straightforward. So dependent, yeah, it really is very, very dependent on priorities. You can go ahead and work on the spawn first, and after working on the spawn, then you go ahead and just extend out your bow. So this right here that I'm doing, you know, this is just really just finishing off the build, yeah. You're just extending the bowl outwards. Extending the bowl outwards. 3 tiles, 3 tiles, 3 tiles. And when you have time, you can just go ahead and extend it further so that it makes your job collecting the supply crates later so much easier. So much easier. So yeah, I won't keep you guys for much too longer. This is basically what I would call the lobber field tutorial. This is the lobber field tutorial right here. Obviously, there's some things I do need to clean up on. Yeah, you'll notice that some of these sides over here I have yet to clean it up a little bit, so let's just go ahead and do that real quick. So there you are. Now, one thing to note as well, you will notice that when we are building our lobber fields, I really do like to keep these very clean 90-degree angles and flushing it as such. Why do I not like to put these? You notice that we have some of these stairs over here that is directly right next to the floor launchers. Over time, I will then start to work on these particular tiles and create additional flat pieces as such, making it up to 3 high and making a platform here. This is for later, yeah? When you have basically created your entire bowl already, this is more of flushing out the sides to prevent accidental smasher, what do you call that? Accidents, as I like to call them. Because sometimes when you have your smashers being flung by the floor launchers from down below, you'll notice that if you have a slanted piece, these stair pieces flush to the side, they might actually end up on the lobber field itself, and you really do not want that. You do not want that. That is not good. It really is not good. So this is what I would typically be doing if we have additional time during the wave. I would simply just go ahead and extend out these areas here and create a 3 high. So is this so-called necessary? I don't think it's exactly necessary, but it makes the build a lot cleaner. It makes the build a lot cleaner, and having less incidences of you know, accidental husks landing on top of your lobber field and starting to do silly things like, you know, aggroing you and charging at you all while on top of these lobber fields. You don't like that kind of stuff. Alright, so yeah, there you have it, chat. There you have it. This is basically the lobber field tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. One last final thing of note earlier, I do believe that I did mention that there was a thing where husks would come towards little tiles and stand there if there's no floor launcher. This one is another one as well. If you want to choose to use a floor launcher here as such, you need to make sure that you go ahead and seal off all lines of vision. You need to make sure that you seal off all lines of vision over here. Seal it all off, because if not, they are going to stand at that corner right there and they're going to fling. They're going to fling at your base. So you really don't want that. Safest option, go ahead and put some doors right there. And that way they will never come to this corner anymore. They will never come to this corner anymore. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. So if any of you have any questions whatsoever about the video, please do feel free to leave a comment down in the descriptions down below, or come by our Twitch channel. We stream every single night from 8:30 a.m. Eastern till 3:30 p.m. Eastern, yeah, at the Allura SC. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and once again, have a good day. See you guys next time. Bye bye now.